everybody and welcome to this next episode of Yoga with Amy. Today I'm going to do a short sequence with you for if you're ever feeling quite lethargic, maybe you're feeling a bit sick, maybe you've got a stomach ache or period pains, or you're just not feeling 100% yourself, not very energetic, or perhaps you've had a very long day. So we're going to do a short sequence that's all about really taking care of yourself. So what I want you to do in this sequence is just promise me that anything you choose to do, you will do it because you feel like you can do it, and any movements that you think, I don't want to do that right now, please just come back to another comfortable position that suits you. We will need a couple of props for this one. If you don't have yoga props, there's plenty of things in the house that can substitute, like books and other sort of heavy things that you can sit on, but these are quite nice because they're foam blocks, so they're a little bit more bouncy than sitting on books, so it's a bit more comfy. I've got myself 2 foam blocks and I've got myself a brick here as well. And also, because we're all about taking care of ourselves when we're feeling a bit pooey, I've also got this blanket. And what I'm going to do just to start the practice off is I'm going to lay out this blanket on my mat. So we're beginning the practice lying down. I've got the soles of my feet on the ground, and I'm just going to take my brick and I'm just going to place it in between the tops of my thighs and rest both my knees in towards each other, and that's just giving me a little bit of support to keep my feet and legs hip distance apart. I'm going to take my hands and place them onto my tummy, and as you come down into this position, all you're going to do is try and focus on where you can feel the movement of the breath within the body. So we're going to start down here with our tummies. So both hands on your stomach somewhere, closing the eyes if that feels okay. And beginning to listen to the natural rhythm of your breath. Notice how the body's feeling today, and see if you can allow the inhale to expand the body gently, and then allow the body to fall with a gentle gathering in on the exhale. If you can't feel it that strongly, the movement of the belly going up and down, then don't worry. We can take the hands a little bit higher onto maybe the sides of the ribs and just see if we can feel any movement here. Just spend a few moments doing that, breathing and trying to feel that movement within the side of the ribs. Feel the body expanding on the inhale and gently lowering on the exhale. And again, don't worry if that movement is very subtle, we're just getting used to it. Take your hands and place them on the top of your ribs, so just underneath your collarbones here. See if you can direct the breath into the very top part of the lungs, so right up near the collarbones. Fingertips are just touching the collarbones here. And spend a few moments breathing here into the top of the chest. And now I'd like to invite you to place your hands wherever you feel most comfortable, either on your body or down by the side of the body. And then with your eyes still closed, just ask yourself, how are you feeling today? Just notice whether there are any sensations in the body, perhaps unpleasant or uncomfortable sensations, or maybe you've got a general overall feeling that you're feeling a little bit sluggish, or maybe you've got a headache or an ache or a pain. So just notice that, and notice how it's making you feel emotionally as well. So still with a natural rhythm of the breath, just focus in on the way that the body's feeling in this moment. And you're also going to say well done to yourself for arriving on your yoga mat when you're really not in the mood for yoga today. You're not feeling very good, you're feeling very slow, so even just to get up and do a little bit is really, really good. So now we're going to take the block away from the thighs, and you're just going to bring each leg up, each knee into the chest individually, and give yourself a big hug and just say well done for arriving here on your mat. You've done really well, and it's good to show that affection to yourself by just giving you a big, big hug. So still working with the breath, rocking one way on an inhale and then the other way on an exhale. So show yourself some love. We're going to slowly take the fingertips onto the kneecaps, keeping the feet still lifted off the mat. We're just going to roll a few circles. So we take the knees out to the sides and then they meet back in the middle. And then our fingertips just gently ease the knees away from the body, out to the side again and into the middle. You're just gently rolling. And if any point feels really good here, you can just stay there and rock a little bit, or bring the knees in towards the body and stay here. So just move in the way that feels best for you. You can take that in the opposite direction. So bringing the knees in and then out. And then you're going to take the soles of the feet to the floor and then make a 90-degree angle with your legs. So with your knees here and your legs lifted, you should start to feel a slight engagement within the core. And so we're going to take our hands out to a cactus position, and we're just going to move the legs really, really slowly over to the right side, feeling all of those muscles in the abdomen working to keep your legs here, so we're not flopping over to the side. And again, just moving to the other side, working with the breath. Inhale to center. If this feels too hard, you can bring your feet down, so closing the knees here, feeling that engagement of the core. Again, you might get some nice juicy spots where back of your bum, your glutes, your piriformis muscle is getting a nice massage, so feel free to stay there. You can even take this movement into a gentle circular movement without your arms there. I just want you to really notice that engagement of the core. So it's quite a tricky move, and it's a very strengthening move as well. And then just bring your knees into the center again, give yourself a big hug, because that was a very tricky move indeed. So big hug in. And then we're going to extend the legs out long, hands out. Oh, have a big deep stretch here. This might be the first big full body stretch that you've had all day, so really enjoy it. And then you're going to bring your hands down, and we're going to turn onto the side of our body. So it doesn't matter which one first, we'll say go to the right. And just because our neck is kind of hanging down a bit here, if you do have a block or a book, we're going to just place that under the head, and that should feel really nice and comfy here. And then we're going to do a chest rotation, so we're actually rotating the spine and opening the chest out, and we're going to do it as if we're drawing a bow and arrow. So bring the two palms of your hands together, and then you're going to inhale as you draw one hand up the arm. Inhale. Open it out. The hand doesn't have to come all the way down onto the floor. It's best if you just follow the line of your shoulder. Inhale. And then exhale to come back down. Inhale. Open. If it's okay for your neck, take your gaze over to the left side. exhale, fold. Inhale, open. Open all the way out. Take the gaze over to the left. And then exhale to fold. And if that feels nice, you could open out and you can stay in that nice spinal twist for a few breaths if that feels okay. So then coming onto your other side, you're going to extend the arms out long. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring the palm back down. Inhale, drawing your bow and arrow as you open out the chest, spiraling the spine and taking the gaze over now in the opposite direction of the arm that's out. Inhale again. So you can do this as many times as you like, as long as it feels good for you. And then exhale to close. And then we're going to come up onto all fours now. So just slowly make your way up. Being on your side, you can use your hands to just gently push yourself up. And when we come into all fours, we're going to first take a child's pose. So we're going to come back, bringing the hips onto the heels of the feet, or if that's not okay for your knees, if that feels uncomfortable having the knees closed, you can bring a couple of blocks and just sit up on the blocks here. And then we're going to lower the body down into child's pose. Again, you can take whatever props you need to make child's pose really nice and comfy. Sometimes a block is nice and sometimes it's better to have some pillows, or if you like to use a bolster, then that's okay too. Or you can bring the forehead all the way down onto the mat. So you can choose to have your hands down by the side of the body, allowing the shoulder blades to rotate down and just giving your upper back a nice release. Or you can bring the hands somewhere in front of you on your mat, bringing the head down. So forehead comes down. And as you breathe here, you're really just telling your back that it's okay to release and relax here. So take a few breaths here. And then we're going to press into the fingers to slowly bring ourselves back up. And then we're going to inhale, bring the hands all the way up into a nice stretch. Exhale the hands down. Coming forward into tabletop position. So we're now going to take these blocks away, but I really like to have a brick again in between the thighs. So we're going to put it this way on, in between the thighs here, just to stabilize around the hips and the pelvis here. So we're going to inhale and bring the chest forward. We're going into a cat-cow movement. So when you bring the chest forward, we're not going to flop the belly, flop the shoulders. We're going to have engagement through the shoulders. We're looking after ourselves, and by looking after ourselves, we still need to maintain that support so that we don't end up being too floppy and damaging our joints. So we need to still build strength even when we're not feeling great. So we're going to inhale, bring the chest forward. Exhale, round into a C shape. And then as you lift the chest and bring your body forwards, you're going to bend at the elbows just to get that nice natural movement. Exhale to round. You can sort of rock and roll into your cat-cow pose. So still keeping that little bit of tone and engagement around the belly that we were able to feel when we had our legs moving in the air when we were lying down. And then come back to center. You're going to take the block and just place it next to you because you'll need that in a minute. We're going to step one foot up, then the other foot, and inhale, come all the way up into Tadasana, mountain pose. So hands by the side. And from here, we're going to place hands on the hips, we're going to bend at the knees and we're going to come all the way down into a gentle Uttanasana or forward fold. And again, you might choose to have the block for that bit of support in between the thighs. And you can either keep the hands here, or it's sometimes really nice just to hold the elbows and with a deep bend in the knees, just enjoy being upside down for a few moments. So we're going to breathe here. Nice gentle breaths. And as I've said, if this move isn't for you today, then just stay down in child's pose or tabletop. And for those who are here, we're going to keep that engagement through the toes, the feet and the legs with a slight bend in the knees, but we're allowing the upper body to relax. So we can even do a few gentle movements here in our forward fold. My legs are engaged and I can feel that engagement around the block still. Then as you come out, you're going to gently sweep your hands up your thighs. You're going to stay in a half lift for a breath. From your half lift, you're going to bring a deeper bend into the knees. You're going to swing up and open out the hands. Inhale into your Tadasana. Do this really slowly if you tend to have kind of dizzy moments and you've got low blood pressure. You just want to take that really slow. Inhale, you can take the block away now. And exhale here. So just spend a moment or two in your Tadasana, just breathing here. And then again, we're going to come back into Uttanasana to bring us down into tabletop. So we're going to inhale, exhale to forward, bending at the knees, keeping the spine nice and long. Hands come down, and then taking one knee at a time, we're going to come back into our lovely Balasana child's pose here. See if you can feel the movement of the breath that we spoke about at the beginning, coming into the back of the body this time. So as you've got your forehead down, just breathe into the back of the body, allowing the back to release here. When you're ready, pressing into the fingertips, coming all the way up slowly, and then we're going to bring our bum down onto your mat, and we're going to take these two blocks. We're going to sit on the front of the blocks, so bringing your sit bones to sit at the front of the blocks, and then you're going to extend your legs out. So it's really important to have a little bit of a bend in the knees so that when we come into our forward fold here, we're not just hanging out in the ligaments, that we're working into the belly of the muscle. So you're going to inhale here, and exhale, we're going to fold forward. See how far you can go, keeping the spine in neutral. You can even take your arms around the back just to see how far you can go here, keeping the feet flexed. And this is quite a strong movement. You should feel it anyway in the backs of your legs. And then if it's okay for your back, you've not got any weakness in the lower back, you can take this into a forward fold by creeping the hands forward and just coming into a gentle forward fold. So we're not trying to force anything here. Your belly and your torso will go down as far as they'll go down. And the movement we want to aim for is belly towards the thighs. That's what we want to aim for. And if it's okay, you can let your neck hang a little bit here. And just take a few breaths here. You're going to inhale, walking the fingers back up into your Dandasana. It's also really nice here to place a block, again in between the thighs, just to make sure that you really keep that engagement throughout the legs. So we'll go down again into Paschimottanasana or forward fold. Inhale and then exhale. Inhale, and as you exhale, see if you can creep that belly towards the thighs a little bit more. Keeping the feet flexed, don't forget about the feet. And then walking the hands back up on an inhale, engaging the core to lift yourself back up. Going to do a little twist here, so bringing the right knee in towards the body, and we're going to take the left hand around the right knee. Inhale to lift gently through the spine. Then exhale, we're just going to rotate first from the belly. Inhale, exhale and rotate at the chest. Inhale, exhale and rotate at the neck. And take a few breaths here. And then slowly coming back down. Again, don't forget about that long leg. We still need to keep the foot flexed here. And then again, bringing the other knee up. Inhale to make the spine nice and long. And then we're going to rotate at the belly. Exhale. Inhale, rotate at the chest. And exhale. And then inhale again and rotate at the neck. Don't worry about cranking yourself around really far, because that's not the point. We're just looking after our bodies today. So just go as far as you can go. And then you're going to gently remove the blocks from underneath your sit bones. So coming down onto your mat now, we're going to do a very, very gentle bridge here. So you may want to take your socks off, and just be careful if you've got a blanket on top of your mat, because you won't have as much resistance underneath your feet. So we're going to take the arms out into a cactus position. Remember, we're just going as far as you can go here. So don't force anything, and if you feel any niggly compression or anything going on in the lower back, then just take a more gentle one, or come straight back down into your constructive rest pose, which is this position here. So you're going to look up to the sky, pressing into all 10 toes, engaging the muscles in the legs to start with, and those belly muscles. Inhale, begin to lift the hips up, and exhale down. Again, inhale, lift the hips up, engaging all those muscles around the legs and the hips to really help you lift, and exhale down. We want a really nice long spine here, so we're not trying to compress it, and we get that long spine by pressing into the toes, engaging those muscles all around the core, the legs, the hips, the bum, everything, just to support this movement. And exhale down. And once you've finished, again, we're going to bring both knees in towards the centre of the body. Give yourself a huge hug and say well done for doing this practice today. You've done a really good job, because you weren't in the mood to do yoga, but you've come onto your mat anyway. And then you're going to exhale and either come into that constructive rest position with the block in between your thighs here, just resting both knees onto the block with the palms out, hands by the side, palms facing up. Or if you prefer, you can bring your feet out and your legs out long, arms by the side, and take a few moments to rest here. Breathing in and out through the nose, or if you're sick, you can breathe in and out through the mouth. If you've got a blocked nose. Or you can take your hands onto your body. That sometimes feels nice, to focus on the breath with the hands here. So you can focus on that movement that we felt at the beginning of the practice. So you can inhale and expand. And exhale, feel that falling of the breath. But we're letting any command of the breath go, so you're just allowing it to return to its natural rhythm. Inhale and exhale here. So it's really nice to
put on some gentle music and spend at least 5 minutes, but if you need it or if you want to, then you should spend 10-15 minutes here. Another option instead of Shavasana, which is not for everyone but certainly can help if you are feeling lethargic, is to have legs up the wall. So I'll show you this. You're going to need your bricks or a bolster, or if you don't have either of those, you can take a cushion. And I'm going to place this right at the wall here. So you're going to come onto your side, roll your hips up onto the blocks, and then bring your legs high in the air. So once you've got your hips on a block or a bolster or a cushion, and you've got your legs up in the air, you can use this as your 10-15 minutes Shavasana position. And it's just a nice gentle inversion to do, which means you've got the blood flowing towards your head, and it can feel really nice and really energizing for somebody who's feeling quite lethargic. So another option as well is to have a handy brick, and we can place that between the thighs, just have a little bit of support there. Or if you've got a strap, you can bind your legs so that they stay together here. So whichever position works for you, have a bit of an experimentation. You can stay in Shavasana, or if you have a sofa that's a good height, where you can have your legs at 90 degrees on the sofa and your back on your mat on the floor, then that's also a nice option. And it's just a really lovely place to stay, to allow your body to absorb the practice and to really just give yourself a bit of love in this position. So we're going to bring the hands by the sides, and we're going to close the eyes here. And just as we did in our Shavasana position, we're going to bring our attention to that gentle rising and falling of the breath. And depending on what you have to do for the rest of your day, you could stay here and just enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye!